Imagine you're sitting at your kitchen table. It's a quiet Tuesday afternoon. Maybe the sun is hitting that one spot on the linoleum, and you've just made yourself a fresh cup of tea. You decide to do something routine, something you've done 1,000 times. You log into your banking app, or perhaps you walk down to the ATM at the local shops, just to make sure your age pension has landed. You're expecting to see that familiar $1,116.30. But when the screen loads, the balance hasn't budged. You refresh it, you wait, you check the date, and then that cold feeling hits the pit of your stomach. The money isn't there. Now, you might think you've made a mistake, or maybe the bank is just running slow. But what if I told you that at this very second, while you're listening to my voice, the same thing is happening to 4 or 5 other Australians? According to the latest figures from Services Australia, over 2.4 million payments were cancelled or suspended in a single year. When you break that down, it means the system is halting a payment every 12 seconds. That's 5 pensions, every single minute, 24 hours a day. One of those 5 could be yours. And the most frightening part is that the system often does it without a human being ever looking at your file. By the time we finish our chat today, I'm going to show you exactly how to suspension-proof your income. I'll explain the difference between a simple soft stop and a total cancellation. One can be fixed with a phone call. The other requires a 30-page reapplication. I'm going to give you the 3 red flags the Centrelink computer looks for and the 5-step checklist you need to follow this week to make sure your name never ends up on that suspension list. Your peace of mind is worth more than a technicality, and I want to make sure you keep every cent you've earned. G'day Australia, I'm James Walker, and welcome back to AUSPENSIONGUIDE. It's good to have you here. If you're new to the channel, we keep things simple here. No jargon, no panic. Just the facts you need to navigate the pension system with your dignity intact. I spent years on the other side of the desk as a pension advisor, and now I work for you. My only goal is to make sure that the rules Services Australia uses don't catch you off guard. We're talking about your livelihood after all. You've worked your whole life, paid your taxes, and built this country. This pension isn't a gift or a favor, it's your right. Before we get into the why and the how of these suspensions, I have a small favor to ask. If you find this information helpful, or if you want to make sure you're always the first to know when the rates change or the rules shift, hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell icon. It's a free way to stay informed, and it helps me reach more Australians who might be sitting at their kitchen tables right now, wondering why their payment hasn't arrived. Now, let's look at the big picture. We are living in a time where Services Australia is under more pressure than ever. They processed over 1.1 billion transactions last year. Think about that number for a second, 1.1 billion. To manage that mountain of data, they rely on automated systems, algorithms, and data matching. While the government has recently added 3,000 new staff to help with the phone lines, those automated systems are still the ones pulling the trigger on suspensions. The reality in 2026 is that the system is designed to be compliance first. If the computer sees something that doesn't quite add up, maybe a bank balance that's shifted or a reporting date that's passed, it doesn't stop to ask you why. It simply flickers a digital switch and your payment stops. It's a guilty until proven innocent approach that can leave you stranded without a cent for groceries or electricity. And because phone wait times are still averaging over 30 minutes, fixing that silent suspension can feel like a full-time job. I want you to understand the first major trap, because this is the one that catches out the most honest people. It's what I call the zero-pay reporting trap. Take Bazza, for example. Barry is 69 and lives in Bendigo. He's a classic Aussie, worked in trade his whole life, retired a few years back. To keep himself busy and earn a bit of fishing money, he took a casual consulting gig at a local firm. Now, Barry knows the rules. He knows that as a single man, his maximum rate is $1,116.30. He knows about the work bonus, where he can earn a bit without it affecting his pension. But here's what happened to Bazza. One fortnight there was no work. He earned $0. Because he didn't earn anything, he thought, well, there's nothing to report, is there? So he didn't log into the app. He didn't call the line. He just went about his business. That Friday, his pension didn't land. You see, if you are flagged in the system for employment income reporting, the computer expects a report every fortnight, regardless of whether you earned $10,000 or 10 cents. If you report nothing, not even a zero, the system assumes you've walked away from the system or you're hiding something. It triggers an automatic suspension. Barry spent 4 hours on hold to find out that his whole file was soft-locked. All he had to do was tell the computer he earned $0, but because he didn't, his income was cut off. Look, I know the paperwork feels like a mountain sometimes. I know it feels like they're constantly watching over your shoulder. But the rule is clear. If you're on the reporting list, you must report, even if you spent the whole fortnight sitting on the porch watching the rain. If you're a single homeowner, remember that your asset cutoff is $674,000. If you're a couple, it's over $1 million, $1 million, $12,500. The computer is constantly cross-referencing your bank accounts with these thresholds. This brings me to the second trap, bank balance fluctuations. Services Australia now has sophisticated data matching soulmates in the ATO and the major banks. Whether you're with CBA, Westpac, or a smaller credit union, the information flows. Now, the law says you have 14 days, exactly 14 days, to report a change in your circumstances. Most people think this only applies if you get a massive inheritance or win the lotto. But let's say you sell a car for $5,000 and put that money in the bank. Or maybe you receive a small gift from a family member to help with a medical bill. If that money sits in your account and pushes you over a threshold, or even if it just stays there long enough for the data match to trigger, Centrelink might suspend your payment to investigate. The rule of thumb I always tell my friends is this: if your assets change by more than $2,000, tell them. Don't wait for them to find out. If you tell them, you're in control. If they find out through a bank data match, the computer takes control, and the computer isn't as friendly as I am. Now, I want to talk about something that's been causing a lot of heartache lately: overseas travel. We all love a trip, don't we? Maybe it's heading to New Zealand to see the grandkids, or a month in the UK. But there's a 6-week rule that is catching people out left and right. The moment you stay outside Australia for more than 6 weeks, your pension supplement and your energy supplement are cut. These are small amounts, but they add up. If you stay away for more than 26 weeks, your basic rate can be reduced based on how long you lived in Australia as a resident between age 16 and the age pension age. This is called pro rata payment. But the suspension risk happens before you even leave. If you don't notify Centrelink that you're heading overseas, and their data match with the Department of Home Affairs sees you've hopped on a plane at Kingsford Smith or Tullamarine, they might suspend the whole payment until you return, just to be safe. See, the system's version of safe is stop the money first, ask questions later. If you're finding this helpful, or if you've ever had a run-in with a silent suspension, drop a quick comment below. Even just a thank you or I've been there helps. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this is important information for Australian seniors, and it helps more people find our community. I read every single one of them, and it really helps me know which topics you want me to cover next. Now, I promise to tell you about the most important distinction in the entire Social Security Act. It's the difference between a suspension and a cancellation. Think of a suspension like a handbrake. The car is still running, the paperwork is still in the system, but the wheels aren't turning. The money isn't flowing. You have a 13-week window from the date of suspension to fix the problem. If you call them, provide the missing bank statement, or report that missed income within those 13 weeks, they can usually flick the switch back on, and this is the important part. They will often pay you the back pay you missed. But if you let it go past 13 weeks, if you think, oh, I'll deal with that later, or if you're overseas and don't check your MyGov inbox, after 13 weeks, the handbrake is released, but the car is taken to the wreckers. Your payment is canceled. Once a pension is canceled, there is no undo button. You have to start from scratch. That means a brand new 30-page application. It means proving your identity all over again. It means waiting months for a processor to look at your file. In 2026, with the backlogs we're seeing, you do not want to be reapplying. You want to stay in the system. Take Margaret from Geelong. She's 72, owns her home, and has about $185,000 in super. She went to visit her sister in Hobart and forgot to check her mail. She had a notice in her MyGov inbox asking for an update on her superannuation balance. She ignored it for 3 months. By the time she got back and realized her pension had stopped, she was at the 14-week mark. Her payment was canceled. It took her 4 months of living off her savings to get back on the pension, and she lost thousands of dollars in the process because you generally can't get back pay for a canceled pension like you can for a suspended one. Don't be Margaret. Check that MyGov inbox. I know it's a pain. I know the passwords are hard to remember. But that digital inbox is the most dangerous place for a pensioner's income. If there's a letter in there with a deadline, that deadline is real. So, here's exactly what I want you to do this week. I call this the Pension Protection Plan. Step 1. Log into MyGov. Don't wait for a notification. Just log in and check your inbox. Look for any letters from Centrelink or Services Australia. If there's a letter asking for information, even if you think they already have it, give it to them. Step 2. Review your reporting dates. If you're working, even just a few hours at Bunnings or helping out at the local school, mark your reporting date on a physical calendar in your kitchen, big red circles. If you have nothing to report, log in anyway and report 0. Step 3. Update your assets. If your bank balance has changed significantly, let's say by more than $2,000, or if your shares have fluctuated, use the Update Assets task online. It takes 5 minutes and it keeps the computer happy. Step 4. Check your contact details. Make sure they have your current mobile number and email address. If they try to warn you about a suspension and your phone number is from 5 years ago, you're flying blind. Step 5. The 132300 rule. If your payment doesn't land on the day you expect it, call the Older Australians line immediately. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until next week. Call 132300. If the wait time is too long, try calling at 8 a.m. sharp when they open. If you can't get through, head down to your local service center. It's much easier to fix a suspension on day 1 than it is on day 90. I know some people feel a bit of shame about having to deal with Centrelink. I've heard people say they feel like they're begging or that the staff make them feel like a number. I want you to put that thought out of your head right now. You aren't a number. You're a shareholder in this country. You've paid into the system for 40, 50 years. You raised the generation that's working now. You're the reason our communities are what they are. This age pension, $1,116.30 for a single person, or $841.40 each for a couple, is simply your dividend. It's the return on your life's work. Don't let a computer glitch or a missed reporting date take away what you've earned. You deserve to live your retirement with a sense of security, not a sense of fear. Now, a quick reminder, every situation is unique. What I've shared with you today is general information, not personal financial advice. For your specific numbers, you can always book a free appointment with a Financial Information Service, FIS officer at Centrelink. It's a fantastic service that most people don't use. They won't judge you, and they can help you understand how things like the work bonus, which currently has a limit of $11,800, can work in your favor. Before I let you go back to your tea, remember that the next indexation, the next time your pension is likely to go up, is the 20th of September. I'll be here with a full breakdown of the new rates the moment they're confirmed. If you haven't already, please give this video a like. It really helps me keep the lights on here at AUSPENSIONGUIDE and ensures I can keep providing these updates for free. Share this video with a friend, maybe someone you know who's just started on the pension or someone who's a bit tech shy. You might just save them from a very stressful Tuesday afternoon. Check your MyGov today. Stay on top of those reports. And most importantly, take good care of yourselves. This is James Walker from AUSPENSIONGUIDE. You've earned this, Australia. I'll see you in the next one.